Hello everyone and welcome to another night of NizCast. I of course am Niz and we're casting the Semi-Pro Cup Series. As always, starting off in the quarterfinals. We've got Team Forawin playing on the Dire side and they're going up against Dota is Cancer. Kids is the name they're going by in the brackets, but Dota is Cancer Kappa in game. And we've got our previous champions. Not like this, they got eliminated in the first round by Ham or Home, which is the team that the winner of our game is going to be playing up against. And that's an Eosin stack. So pretty formidable opponents waiting in the semifinals for the winner of this match. But hopefully you guys had a really good holiday so far. I know they're kind of still going on, but I just had a dinner with a bunch of my family members, and I've actually got my cousin here who plays he plays Dota as well. He's actually just sitting and watching the cast. So hopefully he stays quiet back there and doesn't interrupt too much. No, I don't think he will. But yeah, we've got already pretty far into this draft. The tournament is actually running a little bit behind schedule, but maybe this game will be a little bit quicker, so we'll be able to catch back up. As, like I said, we got Team Hammer Home waiting, and I believe the other semifinal is just about to finish. So we're just over a full game behind. So hopefully we'll catch up here. But let's hop into the draft. We've got Shadow Fiend, Invoker, Ancient Apparition, and Queen of Pain banned out by Team Forawin. Dota's Cancer banned out the Tusk, Oracle, Gyrocopter, and Viper. So nothing too surprising in terms of those bans. As for the picks, we got Dazzle and Slaughter are picked up by Team Forawin. Got the minus armor combo there. And Dota's Cancer, they picked up the Bane and the Juggernaut. Once again, a really strong laning combo. As for their next picks, we got Wind Ranger picked up by Team Forawin. And Darkseer getting picked up by Dota is Cancer Kappa. So we've already got our offlaner picked up by Dota's Cancer with the Darkseer. We've got the Juggernaut, which we expect to be safe lane. Bane, we're not really sure where he's going to start. He could be starting safe lane with the Jug, or he could be mid, assisting whatever mid hero they choose, and helping them get a good start up against what we expect is going to be the Wind Ranger from Team Forawin. The Dazzle we expect to be safe lane. Slardar could be off lane, in which case we might actually have the Dazzle with him. Or we could be running him safe lane. Either way, we expect. Well, actually, we're not quite sure. It could be a duo off lane or just a solo off lane Slardar, depending on what they're going to pick. But they already do have their one strong defensive support in the Dazzle. In fact, both teams have their defensive supports, with the Bane picked up by Dota's Cancer. And now we're pretty much caught up. So we're just waiting on Team Forawin to go with their fourth pick. As for big ticket heroes left in the pool. I don't know, we've seen a lot of interesting heroes coming out. I saw a Void get banned in some Chinese games. That's interesting. Still haven't seen it get played. Terrorblade did get picked up. Morphling's coming back. PL, of course, Animage hasn't really gone anywhere, but we've seen him get picked up. That's for our carries. Even Nature's Prophet's kind of coming back into the game. Even some teams experimenting with him, playing him as a support. So I don't think we're going to see that this game, but you never know. We do get to see some of the interesting interaction, possibly this game with Wind Ranger and the new GG branches being able to plant a happy little tree and allow that Wind Ranger to shackle the target to it. Not sure if we're going to see that this game, but it's definitely a possibility as Disruptor gets picked up by Team Forawin. So that's their second support, their position 4. And it's going to do quite well. It's going to do quite well up against Darkseer in the off lane, but it's also going to give them quite a bit of team fight. If you can get the Static Storm down before the Juggernaut's able to Omni, then that's going to be great for the ability to pick them off. Shout out to Blues Blood and Frempo in the chat. As Blues Blood says, he's asking you to join in on the cast. He says 2 is better than 1. But, welcome, guys. Didn't cast my game. Frempo, you didn't get far enough into the tournament, man. I always start in the quarters. Come on. Or are you still in the tournament? I don't know. None of these teams have rosters. It's on you. It's on you if I don't cast your game. Because if you get to the finals, I guaranteed we'll cast your game. I joke. But fourth pick waiting here for Dota's Cancer. They could just go the same route that Team Forawin did and pick up their position 4. Support here, which they're going to do. They're going to pick up a Shadow Shaman. Strong pushing support. Also good at locking down. That'll give them the ability to lock down the Wind Ranger so she's not able to run away. Even the Slardar with Sprint. But also the Serpent Wards really help them push and break down towers.
Remaining.
It's also some good wave clear as well with the Ether Shock, which they're kind of lacking.
Remaining.
Bane's here that doesn't really give you much of that. Jug is, he's got spin, and typically he goes for a Battle Fury.
Time.
Although not always, but that gives you a little bit more wave clear.
Radiant
Darkseer's also
team
pretty good at
back.
wave clear and keeping the lanes pushed, putting pressure on your opponents, but it's always good to have one of your
Dire
support
team
heroes
pick.
able to clear the wave. Team Forawin, they've kind of got that with the Dazzle. Heal Bomb's good at wiping out creep waves, and even the Disruptor's Q. Thunder Shock, I believe it's called, is okay at it, but typically not ideal. But you do have good wave clear in the Wind Ranger. As for our last two bans, Templar Assassin banned out by Team Forawin, and Ember Spirit banned out by Dota is Cancer. So nothing
10
too
seconds
surprising there.
remaining.
As for our mid laners, who's left? We got the Invoker gone, we got the Shadow Fiend gone,
5 seconds
Quap,
remaining.
TA gone. Man, a lot of mid heroes are gone. Viper, Ember Spirit.
Reserve time.
Who's left? Who the heck is left? We've got Storm's around, yeah. We've got Bat, which somewhat we've been seeing played mid. Same with Puck,
10
but that's a lot.
seconds remaining.
Mainly just played by S4 and Alliance.
5 seconds
But,
remaining.
they're going to go with the Wraith King, so we got the Wind Ranger,
Radiant
and they're going to go with the
team pick.
Phantom Lancer. Okay, so we're not going to see typical mid laner. We're going to have the Phantom Lancer in the mid lane. Oh, sorry, Frempo. Well, I will cast your game then, if you're already in the finals. Alright, well, we've got our final two picks here, and like every competitive game, we've got a pause to start things off. But let's kind of go over those last two picks. As the Wraith King got picked up by our Dire side team here, and that's going to be their safe laner. So Wind Ranger is going to be in the mid lane, and for our Radiant side, looks like we're going to have a PL in the mid lane, or we might even have a Juggernaut. I'm not really sure which one they're going to put mid. I think the PL will probably do better in the mid lane, but we can expect the Darkseer to be off lane, and probably the Jug safe. And I guess they'll probably put the Bane mid with the PL. It's a little bit difficult. That's a little bit difficult to predict, but Heart Frumpo. I don't play SCS for the glory or the friendship. I do it for Niz. Thanks, man. Well, I'll get to casting your game, but it's going to take a little while. It's probably about 2 hours out. Blame these teams for being too slow, man. You have to wait. Alright, Alrun's reconnecting to the game, so we're about to get started. Alright, guys, I also want to remind you that this is the last Sunday of the month, and that means we actually have a prize pool. So we got the $100, the pizza money on the line, as well as the bragging rights. So these teams can actually potentially win something tonight, but we're finally ready to resume the game and get started here. So let's introduce the teams and the players. On our Radiant side, we have Dota is Cancer Kids, or going by Dota is Cancer Kappa through the brackets. But let's introduce who's on their team. Is we've got S3 playing the Juggernaut. We've got Tunerla, very high ranked support only player on the leaderboards. He's going to be playing the Shadow Shaman. We've got Skyline playing the Phantom Lancer. Kappa is going to be playing the Darkseer, and Alrin, who had the disconnect and reconnect, he's going to be playing the Bane, and apparently he wasn't caught in the smoke, so he's going to be trailing behind his teammates. As on our Dire side, we're going to have Team Forawin, and we've got Saint Blue playing their Disruptor. Obelisk is going to be playing the Wraith King. Cheese Pie is going to be playing the Slardar.
30
Drizzt is
seconds
going to be
to
playing the
battle.
Wind Ranger, and Shu is going to be on the Dazzle. So both teams smoking up here, making their way into the opposing team's jungle, but they're not going to find each other, as we only have one Observer Ward actually placed, and that's going to block the, give them vision behind the pole, and that's placed by Dota is Cancer, and a bunch of stuff getting drawn on the map, but both teams recognizing the fact that they've kind of done a similar thing and ended up in the same place, or the opposite place on the map.
Every coin helps.
Is Alrin doing a little scouting here up on the high ground? Not going to spot anyone out. As for a win, they're sitting up here in the Radiant Jungle, and they might catch Tunerla, as Tunerla and S3 are going to walk right on into this, and this is a dead Shadow Shaman. He's been stunned up by the Crush, and this is going to be our first blood. As he's going to go down, it's going to go to the Disruptor.
I thought I saw that in the
So good start to the game for Disruptor, and are we going to actually see an aggressive trialing here? No, okay, those supports are making their way back towards their safe lanes. We have got a wrap around in the mid lane as Alrund's come around behind the Wind Ranger, but he needs to be careful. Oh, the kinetic field actually going to miss there. Instead, the Disruptor is going to go down. Shackle Shot flying through, but not landing. And latching the PL to the Bane. So we do have our second kill of the game, and it's 1-1 even on up. Did the Disruptor manage to spend his gold? He did. So he bought boots, so he didn't really lose too much there. And now he's going to TP up to the top lane, and we are going to see our typical lane setup. So we've got the Wraith King and the Disruptor up here in the top lane going up against an off lane Darkseer, as we see already making use of some of those side pulls. Mid lane, we're going to have a ton of action apparently, as Alrund once again wrapping in from behind, but Shu came in behind him. But we've got the Bane and the Phantom Lancer going up against the Wind Ranger and the Dazzle. Expect the Dazzle to kind of leave that lane and go and stack up some of these camps in the middle of the jungle. And in our bottom lane, it's going to be the Rasta and the Juggernaut going up against the off lane Slaughter, as Cheese Pie has actually lost quite a bit of HP, but he's got a good amount of regen, so don't really expect him to go down. But he does have to be quite careful in this lane, especially with Tunerla buying boots first. So he's starting with boots, so he's got that extra move speed. So Cheese Pie needs to be really careful. If he's caught, then Juggernaut Spin's going to do a lot of damage to him and potentially bring him down before he's going to be able to sprint and run away. And in fact, he hasn't even leveled up sprint yet. Choosing to put 1 point in a bash, which is quite unusual. He's going to get the Crush off on S3, and he's going to get the bash, but it's not going to be enough to bring down the Jug. 2-minute rune spawning. Tunerla will find an illusion rune. Shu is starting to rotate down there, but a little bit behind. And top rune, is Alrund going to pick it up? No, he's going to leave it for his mid laner. So Skyline's going to head on up there and refresh his bottle. Now St. Blue needs to be a little bit careful here, as he could take he could have got trapped there with the creep wave coming in, but unfortunately Kappa doesn't have the move speed. He doesn't have boots. St. Blue has his boots from that first blood, so he's got the extra move speed, so he doesn't really have to be too worried about Ion Shell. Alrund rotating on up as Obelisk. He's going to lose a little bit of damage, but there's no real threat of them diving past the tower and bringing him down. As for how our lanes are going so far, this PL seems to be doing quite well. I think the Bane probably had a lot to do with that, but he's leading the CS right now at 16-8 as opposed to our Wind Ranger just sitting at 8-2. Then we've got our safe lane farming Wraith King at 16-2, and he's contrasted by the Juggernaut safe lane farming on the other side at 14-12. Glimpse going to send back the Bane, not the Darkseer, as they're going to trap him, and Alrund is in a whole lot of trouble. He does still have a Brain Sap available, but will he even be able to get it off? He will, but it's not going to be enough to bring him up, bring him back to full HP. So he'll go down, and that's our second kill of the game for Team Forawin. Tunerla TP'd on up here trying to help out, but just a little bit late to the party. Alrund's now going to TP down to the bottom. They're going to try to go here on Cheese Pie, as they're going to get the spin off on the Juggernaut. Cheese Pie did use his stun, but it's not going to stun up the Juggernaut because the spin was in time, and we're going to get our first kill from this Juggernaut in the bottom lane as the Slardar goes down. 4-minute rune spawning. Drizzt coming down for it. He doesn't have too much HP, and he will get the rune and stun up Alrund, but his healing salve knocked off there. But I think the Bane will be fine here. And indeed, both teams just going to move away. Nerla was camping the top lane. Skyline's going to pick that up. It's haste in the top lane. Kappa has already been stunned up, and he will get glimpsed back, so there's no mana left on this Wraith King, but it should be enough to bring down the the Darkseer, and they will. Naila rotated on up, but here's Skyline with the haste rune, and they're going to get a return kill as the Disruptor is going to go down. Obelisk should be fine. But a lot of kills happening early on in this game, but a lot of kills are just kind of trading. So we're not really seeing too much of the team separating themselves from each other. And action, the bottom lane is Cheese Pie, recognizing the fact that both supports have rotated away from the bottom lane, and he has a potential opening on the Juggernaut. He's going to drop him down to just under 300 HP. As we've got S3 going with the max Blade Fury build, 1 point into his crit and 1 point into stat. Still not picking up the healing ward. So we'll probably expect him to pick that up a little bit later. But he is lacking that early on. His Kappa is going to get glimpsed back, and once again, trapped in a static storm as Nerla fast on that TP. He's up here getting the shackle off onto the disruptor, and they will get the kill. And now Obelisk is in trouble. It's a double kill for the offlane Darkseer as the safe lane farming Wraith King goes down. Pre-level 6, so no ability to reincarnate, and he didn't have enough mana to anyways. But that's probably our first move that's actually going to separate these two teams as we lose the safe lane Wraith King.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I see a few more of you have joined in on the chat. Hopefully you guys all had a great holiday so far. We've got a lot of Dota to cast coming up, so that's going to be really exciting. 6-minute rune. It's going to be picked up by Drizzt. It's going to be a refresh. Regeneration. Ronald Regan, as I like to call it. S3 needs to be careful here. He's gonna... Nope. It's gonna be okay. They do have the glimpse potential. Is St. Blue gonna find him? We didn't realize that S3 actually moved into the trees there. So glimpse not available. And Jug actually... Omni Slash still on cooldown. I guess he must have used it in that bottom lane up against Cheese Pie. His career flies on in. It's completely revealed the position of Alrin there. This one's starting to slow down a little bit. We saw with 686 the addition of this neutral camp, and it's really helped offlane heroes like Darkseer, even though Kappa's kind of struggling to clear it up here. It gives him a little bit more extra farm that a Darkseer may not normally have been able to get in lane. Darkseer not really one of the heroes that really struggles getting farm in lane, but it does help some of the other offlane heroes as they're able to push the lane, and once it's far enough away from their tower that it's very dangerous, they're able to go and clean up one of those camps. And then they even have the freedom of going back to base and getting the regen back up. But S3, he's in trouble. He does just barely have enough mana to spin. He did have a Mango available as well, and he's going to go on the aggressive there. He does have Omni Slash available in 3 seconds. 9 charges on his stick. As he's going to get glimpsed on back, but here comes his support as he's going to be trapped there. Will he stick and get the Omni Slash off? No, he's not going to choose to use it. Now he is. But both heroes from Forawin are back to the safety of their tower. I think there was maybe a little bit of a missed opportunity there. They probably could have got a kill on one of them. Might have been a little risky for the Jug, though. He was on kind of low HP. He even used his Mango there. Interesting. I guess he must have used it when he sticked. I didn't notice it. Then Nerla picking up our new rune, the Arcane rune. What does that
Radiant's
drop down
middle
some of his
tower is
cooldowns
under
to?
attack.
5.6 seconds on Ether Shock, 7 seconds on Shackle. Still takes a little bit of getting used to recognizing the power of that Arcane rune on certain heroes. We'll quickly cycle through some of our heroes here. See who's picking up what. We almost got FaZe picked up by the Wind Ranger in the mid lane. That is continuing to struggle. 22 and 4 CS for the Wind Ranger, as opposed to 54 and 18 from the Phantom Lancer. As he's got the makings of a drums, and a lot of damage coming in there from Drizzt, but I don't think they're going to be able to chase. There's no Phantom Rush on the Phantom Lancer, so he's not going to be able to close that gap. But if Drizzt comes a little bit too close, he could get caught with a Lance, but not anymore, as the mana gets spent by Skyline. As for the Darkseer, he's got his Arcanes working towards his mech, he's got his headdress. Making good progress there. Still just boots and a magic wand. For Nerla, we've got Arcanes just picked up by the Disruptor. Obelisk has picked up a Midas. So going to invest a little bit more in that late game on the Wraith King, as Wraith King typically not one of the best farmers in the game, so we need something to kind of supplement that. So he picks up a Midas. Expect him to probably go... he could go Blade Mail here, or he could just go straight into Blink and then Blade Mail. But either way, Blade Mail is in his future. So we're going to get a Nightmare off on Cheese Pie here, but S3 is still not able to push the creep wave fast enough to warrant a dive. Up in the top lane, we do have St. Blue going down on that Disruptor, as Kappa and Nerla have once again combined for a kill. As this safe lane is not so safe for Forawin, as they've been punished a few times, but now Dota's Cancer, they're going to lose their safe laner as they finally go past that tier 1 tower and they get punished immediately as Alrin turns around, gets the Nightmare off onto Slardar, but immediately gets cancelled by the Dazzle As Auron is about to go down here, and indeed he does, as the Slardar gets a kill, and that moves him closer and closer to his Blink Dagger, sitting at 1,300 gold. Already completed his Tranquils. So well on the way to that Blink, just about 900 or so gold to go before he's going to complete that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They do need to do something about their mid, because the Wind Ranger is definitely struggling. They've lost their Wraith King once so far, and his farm's not too bad, but they've been putting a lot of pressure on him recently, and now he's gone on the offensive, and instead he's running into 3 enemy heroes, and now they're just going to turn around on him. He will go down here. He does have Reincarnation. Never mind. The Shallow Grave is there in time. So they will be able to keep him alive, as the 3 heroes on Dota's Cancer will back away, except for Alrin, because he wants to go on the offensive, and Slardar even making his way up here. In the meantime, Skyline in the mid lane has brought down this tier 1 tower, as we've got the Slardar rotating in behind him. Doesn't have mana to crush. So in the end, Cheese Pie is just kind of throwing away a little bit of his HP here.
Dire's bottom tower
But he does have Tranquil,
attack.
so his HP will regen quite quickly.
Dire's structures are fortified.
There's that mech getting finished by the Darkseer. That's S3, putting some pressure on this bottom tier 1 and forcing some heroes back down in here. What he doesn't know is St. Blue is hiding in the trees below him. And once again, the kinetic field not going to land, as S3 just kind of spins on through. But that's the one way for them to force out the spin, and then they glimpse him right back. But then he just Omnis, finishes off the Disruptor, and huge wall coming out from Kappa's. It'll land on 2. There was no follow-up to keep them slowed. Skyline was there, but just not in range to get the Lance off. Now he will, as the Slardar is in trouble. This time, no Grave available as the heal comes out from the Dazzle, but just not enough mana to cast that Shallow Grave. That was one of the changes in 686. They changed the mana cost of Shallow Grave. Seeing some of the effects of that right there, as Dazzle's just not having enough mana early on. Is Nerla rotating towards the mid lane, putting some pressure onto Drizzt, or at least stopping him from getting some damage in on that tier 1. Nerla's still not level 6, so doesn't have access to those Serpent Wards. But they don't need it. They're pushing without them, as they're already knocking on the door of the tier 2 here. And this tier 2 is probably going to go down here. We don't have Forawin coming back to defend this at all. So the tier 2 goes down, and some items come in and get delivered to Skyline, and he's finished his drums and already picked up one of his Blade of Alacrities on his hero, but he's got another one in the stash, so his Diffusal Blade's going to be pretty close. This Wind Ranger, man, is he far behind. Just phase and 1,100 gold. I imagine he's going to go towards his Aghanims as his next item, but doesn't even have the point booster yet, and we're already 13 minutes in. As Glimpse is going to bring back the Bane, and oh my god, that pretty much sums up the game that this Wind Ranger's been having. It was a gank attempt gone wrong, as the Bane just turns around and kills off the Wind Ranger with a Brain Sap, and then other heroes rotate on in, and they lose the Disruptor as well. Complete disaster here for Forawin, as they're starting to fall behind. And let's take a look at the net worth and see the effect of that. And we got our top 3 net worth in the game all on the side of Dota's Cancer. As we got the PL leading the way at 6,900, then it's the Jug at 57, and then the Darks are actually matching the Juggernaut at 5,700 as well. As he managed to get a lot of farm here in the top lane. Then you take a look at the Wind Ranger, already down at 3,400 net worth, getting doubled by the Phantom Lancer just 14 minutes in. It's not been a good game for Drizzt on this Wind Ranger. And like I said, something's got to change for Forawin to get their Wind Ranger back in the game. And well, they might even lose their safe lane farming. Wraith King here, as he's going to go down, but he does have Reincarnate. Will they be able to lock him down further? Nerla doesn't have any more CC, and Alrin doesn't have mana. And Fiend Grip's actually still on cooldown, but Skyline just comes in from behind with S3, and they finish him off, and now they're going to go after Shu. Kinetic Field's going to trap them. Skyline will doppelganger over, and Alrin going to finish him off with a Brain Sap. As now St. Blue and Cheese Pie are in trouble. They will get the shackle off on the Cheese Pie. As 3-man crush comes out from Slara. Will he be able to run away? He's going to try. And they're actually going to give up on him. They're just going to go back for the safe kill on the Disruptor, which they will find. And now they're going to start doing damage to the top tier 2. As Forawin's just getting crushed all over the place. And that bought a little bit of space for Drizzt to get a little bit of farm. Finally picked up that point booster, but I think they really would have preferred him being up there to help out in that team fight. Not sure if it really would have made too much of a difference, though.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And now we're going to have Guardian Greaves. The GG boots getting picked up by Kappa on this Darkseer. And I really don't imagine the pushing
Radiant's
ending at all.
bottom tower is under
As
attack.
Diffusal also getting picked up by the PL. So Skyline's going to have that available for the next team fight. And that'll be quite good against the Wind Ranger, being able to slow her down. Even up against the Slardar when he's got Sprint activated. Once again, being able to slow using the Purge. And then, of course, the Mana Drain is going to be strong against the Wraith King early on, although his Reincarnation was used at level rank 1. So
Dire's middle
it's going to be on
tower is
cooldown
under
for quite
attack.
some time. We're trying to get the pick off there onto the Dazzle, but the Surge on the Bane wasn't able to close that gap. There we go. This is the first
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
first sign of something
Radiant's
promising
bottom
for
tower
Forawin
is
as they
under
pick up the
attack.
Blink Dagger on the Slardar. They might choose to use it here as their tier 2 in the mid lane's taking some damage. They've almost lost all their outer towers. The tier 1s are all gone, and all but this mid tier 2, and in fact it's about to fall, are gone. So
Dire's
just the
middle
tier
tower
3s
is under
left.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
As Forawin crumbling, Fiend's Grip is going to trap the Bane. Glimpse going to interrupt that, but the Bane or the Dazzle's already gone. As now Driz will throw the Shackle, not going to latch. As Dota's Cancer just keep charging forward. St. Blue going to get vacuumed back into the wall. He's dead. As the Lance flies through, there's that slow from the Purge, from the Diffusal Blade onto the Wind Ranger, but he's not able to escape. I thought for a second there maybe the Wind Ranger was going to be able to get away, but S3 with the Omni Slash finishes them off, and GG, they tap out 16
Dire's
minutes
middle
in.
tower is under
So we've
attack.
got a quick one to start out the
Radiant's
night.
top tower is under attack.
As we do see the Battlefield picked up by the Jug, but it doesn't even matter. As that was a quick one, 16 minutes and 48 seconds, 17-5 in favor of Dota is Cancer. As we had one of the teams waiting in the semifinals, and they were actually asking how long they had. We expected it was going to be about an hour, so hopefully Hammer Home haven't all gone AFK. But that is the EOS and Stack waiting for them in the semifinals. So we'll have that game in just a few minutes. Once again, guys, I was Niz. If you enjoyed the cast, feel free to hit that follow button. If you didn't, let me know why so I can improve for my next cast and hopefully make it a little bit more of an enjoyable experience for you. But we'll be back in just a few minutes with our next game, as it's going to be the semifinals. We've got Dota is Cancer going up against Ham or Home.